And welcome to NFL Money Bets. I'm your host, Ari Matarjami, and I will be focusing in on one thing only, and that is betting the money line. We're not going to talk about spread or points, the juice, all these fancy gambling terms. It's just going to be bet the money, as in the money line. I've selected 5 games for you guys this week that I think are sure bets, and you can put some money down, and I think you'll be satisfied. Drum roll, please. All right, first game. We've got Cardinals at Titans. Now, this game's supposed to be about 94 degrees in Nashville. It's going to be scorching hot, and the Titans offense, is also going to be scorching hot. You got D. Henry, you got Jones and Brown on the outside. The Cardinals are down Malcolm Butler. He retired unexpectedly. And I just don't see him matching up on the outside one-on-one. Alford, the corner, he's okay. Murphy, he takes a lot of chances. He can get burned. I like the Titans to pull away and win this one comfortably. So, a $100 bet. Let's see, the money line's at 165. That should yield you an even 65. So I'd go Tennessee. All right, moving on. Game number 2. We got Seahawks and Colts. Now, Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson, the Pro Bowl guard, left guard for the Colts, and Carson Wentz, the quarterback, both suffered the same foot injury in the beginning of the preseason. We're expected to miss 5 to 12 weeks, but they're both back. However, I'd pay close attention to that. I don't know if Carson's going to be 100% and mobile. Jamal Adams is a ferocious blitzing safety that plays like a linebacker. They've already got Bobby Wagner. They drafted that young kid out of Colorado that looks really, really promising. So, this is a close game, but comes down to quarterback play in my eyes, and there are a few better than Russell Wilson in the fourth. So I say let Russ cook and take Seattle. $100 on the money line to yield you, let's say about 58. Okay, bet number 3. We got Packers at Saints. Now, Marshawn Lattimore is expected to be out. It'll be a game time decision, but if Lattimore's out, that secondary with an aging Malcolm Jenkins, they play a lot of soft zone. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to pick them apart. Not sure about Jameis Winston. I'll believe it when I see it. He's a turnover monster. Hopefully, with Sean Payton, he'll be a little more efficient. But in this matchup, I'll take Green Bay, and I think Green Bay should win pretty comfortably. So we got Packers, we got Colts, and we got Titans. Packers, Seahawks, and Titans. My apologies so far. Now let's go to game 4. We got Dolphins at Patriots. The Mac versus Tua showdown. Okay. Belichick against a young quarterback generally doesn't fare well for the young quarterback, especially one that's not particularly agile, not particularly mobile. Look for a lot of stunts, a lot of double A-gap blitzes up the front, pressuring Tua into the edges where he's not as accurate throwing on the run. And Mac Jones looked pretty good, really good actually, almost very good in preseason, and usurping and surpassing Cam Newton as the starter for New England. I think he'll be efficient. I think those running backs, Harris and Stevenson, will be monsters, and James White is always dangerous out of the backfield. Look for this to be a close game, but I like New England late. Belichick, situational football. I'm taking New England. Now let's go to the 5th and final game that I like for the evening. Chicago Bears go to Los Angeles to play the Rams in SoFi. Open it up, home crowd. The stadium should be electric, to say the least. And Sean McVay gets to show off his new shiny toy in Matt Stafford. And, he fits McVay's zone running, play action, boot action game extraordinarily well. He's very accurate. He's got a strong arm, can make all the throws. decided upgrade over Jared Goff, who I'm not so down on as the rest of, it seems like everyone thinks that Goff is trash. I think he's a good quarterback when upright and when protected. Um, but again, the Bears, Andy Dalton, come on. Unless Justin Fields was the starter, then I'd have to maybe reconsider. But with Andy Dalton, the Bears offense, they don't really have a lot of skill position players. Matt Nagy's, it's kind of gimmicky. He's like a poor man's Andy Reid. Not to take anything away from Matt Nagy. He actually won with Trubisky. But in this matchup, I just think the Rams have too much firepower. That defense is ferocious. Donald's a man amongst boys. You're gonna have to double team him. He's gonna eat up the middle of that line, and they've got great cover corners. So I like the Rams, and again, $100 money line bets on all five. So these are conservative bets, but they're pretty. Not, I wouldn't say sure thing. Nothing's a sure thing in the National Football League. But my strategy is build up some confidence, build up a little bit of a bankroll, get some and then later on in the season start taking some selected shots, careful shots, and we'll walk through it. We'll all get better together. And thank you very much for tuning in. Excuse me, to NFL Money Bets.